Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
.03 on the Lock Shop, brought to you by our partners at Play Alberta. Thank you very much for being here today. Gaming made easy, anytime, anywhere with Play Alberta. Full casino experience right at your fingertips. You can play from your phone, your tablet, your computer, and actually download the Play Alberta app today and get started with a $100 casino bonus. Just deposit $20 with the promo code 100casino. Play smart, play local, and remember to use your game sense. If you are watching over on YouTube today, you can hammer the thumbs up for us. Lay out what we've already got locked and loaded for you today over at Play Alberta. Go to playalberta.ca or download the app. Click on the EST Specials tab. Two things already in there. The early bird bet today. McDavid and Bouchard, each with an assist. Evander Kane with a point. That is plus 215. And my play of the day, Leon Draisaitl to finish +1 or better tonight. That's plus 140 for Leon Draisaitl to essentially just be a plus player tonight in game 2 of this series. One other line that I wanted to hit on quickly. The New York Knicks are up 2-0. You can still get them at minus 125 to win that series. And they have a 2-0 series lead and 2 dramatic come from behind victories. So Knicks minus 125. You might want to find that over on the NBA page. Click on basketball. It's different. There's the NBA page, or you can click on basketball and then slide in. You'll see NBA playoffs, and that's where you can get all the up-to-date series lines over at Play Alberta. Waiting on the DGen Den to throw together the grandest of parlays. We will get that for you as well. Some stuff coming from the Lock Shop and the Jays play of the day coming up a little bit later on. If you've not yet taken advantage of the $50 free bet, $5 minimum deposit. Use the code YAG50 when you deposit the $5. You will get a $50 free bet. You can also use the code 100sports on a $20 deposit and get a $100 free bet. And I think Maddie Wanaku's sitting over there. Maddie, didn't you say you used the $100 on the Bouchard assist?
I did. Cash that one.
Woo! Love to see it.
106 in the account now.
Love to see it. All right, I did. We're gonna bring in Huss here. We're gonna get to obviously the games last night in the NHL. I did throw out a tweet after that game of Huss after the Jets loss, but then realizing that the Dallas Stars have 7-Eleven on their helmets. And it was the Alonzo Mourning gift where he's like, I'm sure that wasn't enough to ease the pain, Huss, but how was it last night in the barn in Winnipeg?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm probably never going to see anything like we saw on Sunday night. And I mean, I'm sure you've noticed just from talking to me over the last, couple days. I mean, it has been a level of euphoria around the fan base, around the team that, I mean, is actually hard to describe. This entire city is hungover from, not from partying, but just from the, it's almost like it's exhausting, if you will. And that was sort of what happened last night. Now, listen, the crowd was still really good. There's a lot of people. I think a lot of people that hadn't been to a game yet got in on that one. With the quick turnaround and games on Wednesday and Friday night. And the game was, again, 10-9 puck drop. So it was taxing for everybody. But I think there's some people that jumped on some cheaper tickets, of people that knew that I can't go to every game, so I'm going to go to Friday instead of Wednesday. The strange thing about the game, though, was, the Jets played well, but like Scott Arniel said, that didn't feel like game 1 of round 2. It felt like game 45 of the regular season.
Yeah, interesting.
And I think maybe it's just such a stark contrast to the bloodbath that we saw between the Jets and Blues in that first series. I mean, that was one of the most physical series I've ever seen. The Dallas Stars had less hits in the entire game than the Blues did in the first period of game 7. So it was just a very different game. And listen, the Jets played well. Hellebuck had his best game of the playoffs. But they got Rantanen. And it really was one guy that took over that game in a couple different ways. And I got to give Pete DeBoer a lot of credit. We wonder how this guy's been so successful, and although he hasn't won a cup, 9-0 in Game 7s. Rantanen was so used to playing so much with McKinnon and the amount of ice time that he had, and the Dallas Stars roll 4 lines. So he started to throw Rantanen out with the 4th line. Adam Lowry's line did a great job against Hintz and Rantanen. Rantanen's damage at even strength was on 2 4th-line shifts with Dadonov and Sam Steele. So, listen, that guy's a game breaker, and he's going to make some plays. The Jets had plenty of chances. They very nearly tied it late in the game. Disappointing to lose
almost
home
tie it late, yeah.
Right out of the gate. But this wasn't, one of these games where, like, put it this way. This wasn't the way they looked on the road in round number 1.
So it wasn't like how they looked when they were playing the Blues in St. Louis.
No, far from it. I think you saw, listen, I'm going to say the same thing for Dallas. I think they had a bit of a hangover from their near-death experience against the Avalanche on Saturday.
Remember, that's what we said. When you asked me about it yesterday, I said, I don't know how these teams are going to be coming in off of these crazy highs, right? So it's interesting that you say Dallas kind of maybe felt like they were in the same boat.
I think it'll be ramped up a lot in game number 2. I think the crowd on Friday night with that late night game, with it being a Friday, will be one of the best, if not the best they've had yet so far in the playoffs. And I think they know how crucial winning game number 2 is to get it back to 1-1 and then see if you can steal one in Dallas. I mean, the path to the Jets to win this series was never going to be a short one, but they do have to take care of business on home ice. So Friday night's going to be a massive one here in Winnipeg, and then we'll see what they can do on the road. I mean, they did go into Dallas in what was almost a playoff game at the end of April and shut them out 4-0. And I think for the most part, I mean, Duchesne was really quiet. The Roope Hintz, I mean, did not do a lot when Adam Lowry's line was out against them. And it was great to see Mark Scheifele back. He scored. I think we're seeing Velarde and Ehlers get a little more comfortable now that they've been back for a couple games. So, listen, certainly wasn't the result that Winnipeg wanted, but they can absolutely play with these guys. It ain't going to be easy. Got to get game 2, and we'll be moving on from last night after today's show and getting ready for a big one tomorrow.
What do you make of the Leafs getting the job done and going up 2-0 in that series?
You know what? Pretty exciting for our friends out east, I got to tell you. And I'm not normally a guy that would really be cheering for the Leafs, but I got to tell you that I'm here for them beating the Panthers. Like the Panthers, just the way they go about, and like with Bennett knocking the goalie out in the first game, I mean, it would be nice to see them maybe get their just desserts, especially after going all the way last year. And I mean, full credit to Toronto. I didn't see a ton of the game. We saw the scramble and how they held on at the end.
Yeah,
which was nervous moments, but they're having some guys really step up with big time performances in the playoffs that, let's face it, has not been part of the Toronto story in the past. I don't know. What did you think?
I was impressed. Like when Florida tied it at 3, I thought, okay, this would be the Florida game, like third period tied at 3, go get one. But then Marner scores, 27 seconds later, or 23, whatever it was later. And you're just like, oh, wow. And it wasn't, I mean, shot it from way out far boards. Bobrovsky's looking the wrong way and it beat him. So I think there's probably some better games coming from Bobrovsky here at some point. And the Panthers are going home. Like you said, Huss, the Panthers, down 2-0 going home, probably still feel somewhat okay about themselves. I did see a quote from Brad Marchand yesterday, though, saying this is a different Leafs team than other Leafs teams that he has played. And he's played a lot of Leafs teams and a lot of Leafs teams that have if anybody has a statement on the Maple Leafs, it's Brad Marchand, isn't it?
100%. I mean, and he's been the boogeyman for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, dating all the way back to their blown 4-1 lead in Game 7. What was that, in 2013? I mean, Marchand was part of all of that, I believe. So, he is for him to say that shows that the Leafs have the Panthers' attention.
Yeah.
And
that's what it is. I think that's a good way to describe it. The Leafs have fully gotten the Panthers' attention. Now what happens, right? And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the Leafs are just a better team. We'll have to see, but not that I think Florida would have been taking them lightly, but total wake-up call after these first two games.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you think about what happened in round one. I mean, they went into Tampa and, took the first two games on the road. I mean, they didn't seem to mind not having the home ice in any of the rounds. They said, oh, we'll be fine. Well, now they got to back it up at home because, listen, the Leafs get a split. They will have the opportunity to win
on home ice
in 5 games at home. And I'll tell you what. Sorry, I'm day to day right now as the little sick because I think half the city is.
Careful, you got a trip to Dallas coming up this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Just kind of.
That's not a direct, eh? Where'd you go through there? Where'd you go to get to Dallas?
We're driving to Fargo.
Okay.
We're gonna just drive to Fargo across the border and then.
How far drives that?
3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. And then just direct right down.
It's like going to Calgary.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you had to do to go to Boston. Sometimes you gotta pivot.
Sometimes you gotta find a way. You just have to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, direct flight from Fargo, with an easy drive. And to be honest, I'd way rather get in a car and just chill and drive than do an extra flight and change over in another airport and wait around. And it actually worked out well because I think I'll pretty much be good to go for most shows just with the timing of everything. So
that's nice too.
That'll be the travel day, and hopefully I can get over this in the next.
This run that Rantanen is on, and you guys witnessed it firsthand. You laid it out nicely. This might be the best run in playoff history. He's got 14 points in his last 4 games. First player ever to get 2 periods in a playoff run with hat tricks, let alone in back-to-back games. He has been in on 12 consecutive Dallas Stars goals. The old record was 9. Mario Lemieux. Like, as much as we're talking about Rantanen, I don't know if everybody around the league is realizing what Rantanen's done these last 4 games. It's bloody insane. After a slow start to that last series, too.
Yeah, Dallas is very, very fortunate that they're not playing St. Louis. Because I can tell you what St. Louis would do in this case. They would just simply not care about anything else and just go and try and take him out of the game and out of the series.
Yeah,
it worked. Right. The way that they attacked the Jets, and listen, it's hockey, right? I mean, you got to be able to run through that. Now, Rantanen is a freaking moose. He's bigger than everyone out there anyway, so good luck in actually doing that. But he has good back-to-back hat tricks in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know who the last player to do that was?
Back-to-back hat tricks? Give me how far back do we have to go?
We got to go pretty far back. We got to go back, choose. Well, to the
80s?
Yeah.
Yari Curry?
Yep.
Yari Curry.
Guess.
The goal scorer on the Oilers in the 80s. I was going to say Wayne Gretzky.
It's like 84, 85. Curry went back-to-back. Has not happened since then. And he is just an absolute problem right now. But again, I think the Jets can look at what they did, at 5-on-5 for the most part. I mean, the power play goal that the Stars scored on was a real tough one to swallow, I think, for Winnipeg because listen, the Jets had drawn some penalties early on that were absolutely penalties. But you know how it is, even if penalties are completely legit, if one team gets 2 or 3, you just know they're going to find a way to give the other team a power play. And I mean, one of the just most, are you kidding me, calls to Hayden Fleury, and Rantanen scores on that one. So it was tough. But yeah, I mean, he listen, the Lowry line is going to handle that top line when they have the opportunity to do it. But this wrinkle of DeBoer throwing him over the board sometimes unexpectedly with the fourth line is, I think, going to keep Scott Arniel and the Winnipeg Jets on their toes. And who knows, it might mean even shortening the bench a little bit more in particular situations, knowing that DeBoer might be going that way because I mean, you not only do you need to have your best out there, but you need to be ready for Rantanen. And listen, that's a great team. Their forward group is really, really good. But they got to take advantage of these games before Heiskanen gets back. So very, very important game for Winnipeg coming up on.
How was Scheifele?
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good. Had a nice goal. Now, I mean, he can be better. I think that line in particular, Kyle Connor as well, they had their chances. They were dangerous at times. But this is the funny thing, and Arniel talked about this afterwards as well. Excuse me. I think they were so used to the St. Louis series where the second they had their puck, they were getting hit and they were getting whacked. Like, they didn't acknowledge the amount of time they had to do certain things. Like, they were making really quick plays and maybe sometimes rushing things when they really didn't have to. So Arniel said that there's going to be plenty of video today to prepare them even more for what Dallas is going to do and kind of move out of the mindset that you had to play in a very unique, very tough series against St. Louis and pivot to a style of hockey that doesn't even resemble what we saw in round number 1.
It's Nielsen Huss with you. It's the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Hop on over to WST and give the guys at Winnipeg Sports Talk a sub. While you're at it, you can text us anytime at 780-218-9999. We'll get to this Oilers Golden Knights game tonight in a second. But as I do, just quickly on the Winnipeg front, did you have some time over the last little while to talk about this Zach Collaros news coming out yesterday?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, listen, we were getting ready for game 1, and that was, the story. But yeah, we talked about it. Hammer's going to come on. Jeff Hamilton's going to come on with us today on the show and get the bottom line of it. I mean, it's just hilarious. And I don't know where you come out on this, but, in today's day and age, when you've had your phone number for a while, it gets on some list and you get all these stupid calls. I mean, if I don't know who's calling me, or it's just an unknown number.
I never pick up the phone if it doesn't come up in my contacts. I'm like, they can leave a voicemail.
Exactly. So he basically thought it was a scam and just ignored it. Like, it's kind of funny. Not funny for the Bombers, though, who are going to be opening their season without Zach Collaros for game number 1. I guess
Strevler will be good to go, right? Strevy?
I would imagine he'll be the guy that will get the start, and he'll certainly be ready to go and be excited about that. But I mean, you know how it is here in Winnipeg. Everyone thought this is BS. He shouldn't be suspended. Saskatchewan, they should get the full suspension and maybe more for deliberately ignoring.
Lieutenant Eric had those vibes today. The Collaros thing from a Riders fans perspective too. So the good news is that the CFL is just around the corner. Rookie camp's obviously underway, and main camp's about to open up as well. I got to dive into my CFL and TSN top 50 here right away too. What's that, us?
How do they decide who to test? Because to be honest with you, like, if I'm thinking, like, if you only have a limited amount of tests to roll out to players for PEDs, Zach Collaros is probably the last guy on the list.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Zach's propping up his career with performance enhancers over the last couple of years.
No, I was gonna say, I'd almost I think you're more likely to find like literally the kickers and the punters are probably more likely to be on something like that than a quarterback or Zach Collaros. So it was funny, but yeah, that is unfortunate. But I'll tell you what's crazy, dude. The CFL is back.
Yeah, I know. It's time.
Rookie camps are underway right now. Training camps this weekend. I mean,
Cody Fajardo is throwing balls down at Commonwealth right now as we speak.
When is your first game?
I will be. It's different this year. We're going out, like, they're moving our crews all around the country. So I won't just be staying in Winnipeg West. So my first game is actually Friday Night Football, week 1 in Montreal with La Police, which should be a fun little Friday night start to the season. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, with Lapo.
You're gonna be spending a little more time map watching.
I will. I mean, it's going to be nice to get. I was looking at my schedule. 2 or 3 trips to Montreal. I'm in Hamilton. I think once. I've never done a regular season game in Hamilton, if you can believe it. I did the Grey Cup for radio in Hamilton, but I've never done a regular season game in Hamilton. I think I've only done 1 regular season game in Toronto, 1 regular season game in Ottawa, and I'm there like multiple times, I think, in all those cities this year. So it'll be, it might mean 1 or 2 less trips to the Elephant and Castle in Winnipeg, which I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but you got to do what you have to do for your job, Huss. And I think Montreal will probably be okay too. You're
going to be here a couple times though, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I think I got probably 4 or 5 trips into Winnipeg.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'll be there. I can't go a season without being at Princess Auto. Come on. It's a great place.
How many weekends are you going to be banging double dips?
It's a good question. Actually, you know what I did this year? And I should have done this for the last 6 years as well, because it does make things much easier. But I put my entire schedule in my phone this year so I can actually see where I'm heading. So in June, I've got 2 double dips. June 12th, BC Winnipeg. I'll be there for that one. And then I'm out to Hamilton. Then I'm in Winnipeg, I think, again on the 26th for the Elks. Then I'm off to Regina. Double dip in July once. Couple in September, couple in October. Yeah, so I probably got about 6 or 7 doubleheader weekends.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not too bad. It's nice when there's the ones in September and October are back to back, like Friday, Saturday. There's a lot of prep for football games. The back to back Friday, Saturdays is actually, those are sometimes quite a challenge to turn it around. And I don't want to prep for the Saturday game until the Friday game's over, or else my head starts to get all merged together with all 4 teams, which is tough.
Hey, we've got some breaking news here.
Have we seen smoke?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the white smoke was coming up.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you got your bets down on who will be the new pope. I saw Timmy Two Shoes was saying he will be Italian. Guess what? For the first time, we have an American pope.
What?
The first ever American pontiff in history.
From Chicago?
He will be known as Pope Leo XIV, Robert Prevost of the U.S. And I see Gary and Thorne says the new pope is from Illinois. Notre Dame is going all the way this year, people.
Did you say he's Pope Leo the 14th?
That's
Does that mean there's been 13 other popes named Leo? Or is he like
X1V? I'm assuming that's what that means. Pope Leo XIV, which is X and then 1/4. So I think I'm reading that correctly.
I'm just bringing up a list of popes. I mean, I guess you got to go back quite a ways, but still, that seems like a lot of Leos. Well, hopefully, if you were betting on it, you cashed, I guess.
He was from Chicago and went to Villanova. The funniest thing is when Trump said, you know what, I'd like to be the Pope. That would be the one thing that I'd really like to do. Trump, with all due respect, I'm not sure whether you've got that club in your bag.
I'm not sure Musk can make those changes for you. That's a tough one.
That would be the most incredible. Like, somebody should write a comedy movie script of Pope Donald the First.
Yeah, that sounds like it's got a Seth Rogen project all over it.
Oh my God. Like, there is just thinking about that.
As big
Pope protocol has never been the same.
I like the church. I think I can be Pope. Big Hugh says, Dusty, this is the 267th Pope. Okay, I mean, I guess it could be 14 Leos then. Leon
Draisaitl?
The first Leo was in the year 440 Lasted 21 days until November of 461. I wonder if back then they were wagering on who the next pope is in the streets of Rome. You know, like a side branch off of the Colosseum where they were just taking bets on if it would be a Pontius or a Leo, you know?
This is so far out of my wheelhouse. How is this determined? Who calls the shots? Like, who is determined? Like, say, you know what? Robert Prevost from Chicago, congratulations. You are now Pope Leo the 14th. Come on down. And he's there. Like, how do they keep it a secret? Do they have all the contestants there? And then they do the white smoke? I mean, there was no leaks. They're like, where's the Vatican?
I think once you're in, you're in. And then it's just secret ballots maybe until the smoke comes? Is that?
Like, there's no Vatican insider. I mean.
Maybe that's where Sarah Volley's going.
Well, hey. I saw Schefter trying to break the news on.
Big Yuka saying 133 different cardinals deliberate. And that's how they get there.
And he would be one of them?
I don't know. Does he make a case for himself?
Danny C. They draw balls like the draft lottery.
The draft lottery. And the odds are moving on the lottery as it's happening. You're like, I don't know if I need 13 or if I need 5. Somebody please explain this to me. Mitchie says you guys need to watch the movie Conclave. I heard that was a pretty good movie. I have not, I don't really have a ton of time for movies. I did Google, when did the first sports bet take place? Just to kind of see where we run it back to. It says, even ancient civilizations gambled on sports. As far back as 4,000 to 3,000 BC, ancient Egyptians bet on dice, board games, feats of skill, such as chariot racing and fencing. Betting on sports took place during the ancient Olympic Games around 800 to 700 BC. There you go.
We're carrying on a tradition as old as human civilization here in the lockdown.
Somebody needs to push this forward for the human race. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That's where you can text us. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tonight's in the National Hockey League, obviously the big one. We'll have eyes on it. Tommy will be live for the GCL Diesel pregame show, 6 o'clock tonight. Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall should be a really fun time. Last time we were there, it was an absolute riot, and they didn't even win. So maybe if they can pull off a win tonight, that would go a long way for the crowd at Hudson's. The Golden Knights -139 favorites tonight. The Oilers +110 moneyline dogs here on the road in Game 2. The total is set at 6.5. Huss, we were talking about it earlier today. I'll probably dive into it on two guys and the goalie a little bit more. I think this is the first game in the playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers where you could describe them as comfortable going into the playoffs, right? They were down 2-0, had to fight hard to get back into that series. Then they're up 3-2. That game 5 was critical. They win it. Game 6, maybe somewhat comfortable at the same time. That is an elimination game. You're going to be on your toes to try to finish this series off. Obviously, you'd like to get off to a good start with the way so many series have started for you. So they were on it in game 1. They could be somewhat comfortable going into tonight's game. They've already earned a split. If they come out tonight and it is pedal to the metal again for the entire game, the Oilers might be a championship caliber team. You know, like that. Like if they have that mindset, I know it's just a game 2, but I'm going to read a lot into the performance tonight from these guys.
Listen, you're going to get Vegas's best. They're not dumb. They know that they have to be better and they have to get this win. I mean, like Vegas and Winnipeg in these next 2 games, playing against really, really good teams that have already stolen home ice advantage, have to come up big in game 2. And I mean, I think the odds will show that. But I totally agree with you, man. Like they had it's kind of so funny. I mean, when you think about the teams that are alive, every one of the 4 teams in the West saw themselves in a really serious situation at some point in the first round. Like Vegas, were very, very close to being down 3-1 coming back home. Obviously Minnesota or Dallas and Winnipeg both had the, had to pull full Undertaker jobs on the weekend. But the Oilers, it seems like so long ago, but they got smoked in those first couple games. And needed a borderline miraculous goal to tie it. And then an ill-advised challenge to hand them a power play in which they scored in 10 seconds. But even still, they were coming back in those other games as well. So your description of them as in a comfortable situation is great, is totally right. But they can't play like they're comfortable tonight.
Yeah.
They need to be that team. Look what's brought the best out of them. Being pushed, being forced into situations where they had to step up. And listen, they know more than anyone the toll that 4 rounds in the Stanley Cup playoffs takes on a hockey team. And listen, they have a glorious opportunity. If they could win this game tonight, come back home up 2,
place will be
with
rocking.
2 games front of the crazies and the nasties there at Rogers Center. It would be massive. I wouldn't go so far as to say if the Oilers win this series, it is over for the series, but I would take a lot for Vegas to come back, win 4 of 5, with 3 of those 5 games being in Edmonton. So you're right. I think we'll see the maturity of this team right now. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be led by, this is the game where we're going to see Draisaitl and particularly McDavid maybe step up their level of play. Because, they've been winning these last few games on the rank and file.
Those guys haven't been bad, but they haven't had to be good. They haven't had to light it up.
But when you need it, they can basically doing what Rantanen did last night. Just going into a place and being the best player on the ice and being the difference in a win or a loss. So, originally I'm thinking, okay, what'll normally happen here? Okay, the home team's going to bounce right back. But listen, both the Jets and Vegas are going to need to be ready and going to need to bring their best if they want to get that, if they want to get their series back to even and then chip away and kind of regain home ice on the road. It should be a really interesting game. But tell you what, I was thinking about this more after we did the program yesterday, and things don't just stay the same. And that blue line of Vegas that has been, I would argue, probably the difference maker when they won the Cup, the foundation for them and their success the last few years, it just didn't look like, I don't know whether there's a little too much wear on the treads or what, but they didn't look like that defense core that just makes it impossible at times to gain zone entries and all that. And
no Pietrangelo in game 1, which that's a significant loss. However, and even I was just looking, I was trying. Well, the latest I saw, and I've been on we've been on the air for 35 minutes. So if anything has changed here, please let me know. But the latest I saw was that both Dorofeyev and Pietrangelo were questionable for tonight. So
good old game time decision.
Yeah. Maybe we'll hear more on the morning skate for the Golden Knights, but no update as of yesterday, at least on this one. I want to get back over to the chat for a second. Northside Sandwich says, I'll bet you 2 rocks you can't kill that woolly mammoth. You dial it back that far. I also love this. And Doug Ted says, 2 rocks in this economy? I imagine that was a joke, also told in 4000 BC, which is that's funny, you guys. That's pretty good. I do like that.
Duck Dad said, I knew nothing about this until I saw the market on the book, and then I started researching. I'll be honest, I never saw in my travels anything like that. Like, Duck Dad, if you can, what was it the nationality of the next pope?
The name, maybe?
What the numbers are?
I'm curious about that too.
I would love to know if you remember any of the odds. And what I'm sure we probably could find what the
I would have to think American Pope was a dog, right?
Oh,
it would
for
like
sure.
would have had to been a pretty big number on an American Pope.
Let's see here.
Rip City Step says new Pope went to Villanova, hit those Knicks futures. Yeah, the Knicks. So the Knicks, I said earlier, I thought it was minus 125, but since we started Lock Shop, I went and got the Knicks at minus 105 to win their series against Boston, and they're up 2-0. We lost Huston. We almost had him back. Then we lost him again. He's trying to reconnect. We'll see if we can sort him back in. I think that's kind of an insane number for a Knicks team that's up 2-0 to still be getting minus 105 on them. That's especially with the way Boston has had no team in NBA history has ever blown 20-point second half leads in back-to-back playoff games. Like it's amazing to watch the Celtics continue to collapse here against the Knicks.
I just saw an article. I'm not sure where it was, like TMZ or something like that, on how ticket prices for MSG.
Oh yeah, I saw that last night.
Have skyrocketed after the Knicks. And the Knicks fans are hilarious. Every time they win, and like these two games have been on the road, there have been thousands of Knicks fans partying in front of MSG like they just won the damn thing. But man, this is a serious situation for the Celtics. And I mean, if they lose this series, dude, can you imagine blowing back-to-back 20-point home leads and then losing to a New York team at that Boston-New York rivalry? Boston's had it pretty good for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I'm not going to feel sorry for Boston.
Oh, no, me neither. Oh, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think, and the Knicks have sucked forever. Like, how, is Brunson, was getting him from Dallas?
That was a turning point for the franchise.
Catalyst?
100%. Yeah. It's not even close. Like I think I saw like clutch points scored in the playoffs so far. It was one team, then Brunson, then 4 other teams. Like Brunson has been, and the scary thing I think for the Celtics is, and I watched a good part of that game last night, and then Marcel and I watched the OKC Thunder score 87 in the first half against the Nuggets last night, which was also an all-time NBA record. But the Knicks didn't rely just on Brunson to win last night's game. Like the game before, he was excellent. Last night's game, he was good, but he wasn't, he didn't steal that game for the Knicks last night. Just looking at, like, this was as of 12 hours ago, the get-in price at MSG for game 3 is $885 US. That is as high up as you can go. The most expensive tickets over 20 grand. Anywhere in the lower bowl is going to be anywhere from 15 to 4. It is the highest priced Knicks ticket of all time for game 3.
Oh.
Now, with that being said, I will say this as about, like sporting events you just want to take in at some point in your life. I would like to, be staying in New York, walking down to a Knicks game at MSG. That'd be one of the cool, when you don't have like a horse in the race or dog in the fight or whatever the saying is, that would be a cool event. That would be something you just want to go.
I'm going to surprise you here, Dusty.
You've done this?
I have ticked that one off.
What?
I have ticked that one off.
How am I just learning this?
We were on the road with the Jets, myself and Gary, and we were doing the, I think we'd been in Florida and Carolina, and then there was a Jersey. But we got to New York 2 days before. There was like a practice day or something like that, and it was an off day for the team. And I wanted to check out MSG, and the Knicks were playing. Like Gary's not into the basketball or whatever, but I'm like, come on. And actually, it was great. I told you at the time, we ended up meeting Bill Daly, the deputy commissioner at the time, at this little Irish pub in New York. Had a few beers with Bill. Was one of the coolest, like a great guy. I mean, he's a real one. and was able definitely to keep up, or more like I had to keep up with Bill. But then went through the NHL store and saw that. It had really been my first time in New York because it was before when we were there for the Super Bowl, and I realized there was a Nick game, and I don't know whether Gary leaned on Bill or what, but he's like, "All right, I got us tickets." So we went there, and it was really cool. It was more like to be at the Mecca. They were playing the Pacers, I believe. It was a good game. The team wasn't particularly good at that time. But if you go to MSG and you walk around the entire concourse, they've got, I believe, for every single day of the year, a plaque with a famous event or an event that happened
from that day.
On that day. And it was really neat. I went and I saw the I think there was WrestleMania 2 that was at MSG when they did the 3 different spots, but there was some wrestling stuff, basketball stuff, hockey stuff, and all sorts. So yeah, went there. Amazing. How big of an upset would this be? I'll be honest, I didn't really check series prices for the NBA before it happened, but I would have imagined based on the odds that were out for the futures to win, it was like the Celtics were a really short favorite. The Cavaliers were next, and then there was a huge gap before the Knicks and anybody else, I guess the Knicks and Pacers.
Well, yeah, and both the Cavs and Celtics down 2-0 at home. Both of them. They were runaway favorites for a long time when we were looking at these odds. I do not know what the series price was on the Knicks prior to this series.
So can you imagine? It would be this is going back to Reggie Miller.
Pacer Knicks is Reggie Patrick Ewing. Reggie Spike Lee. That'd be a hell of a throwback.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, Halliburton and Brunson have major beef. They are that's a huge rivalry. And the reason I know that is because after the season ended last year, those guys were involved in an angle on WWE Raw where Halliburton came in.
I should have guessed how you would have known that. My God.
That was incredible. I came back on the lock shop. I'm like, can you imagine if Draisaitl came out of the stands and was squaring off with, Rantanen or something like that in a WWE ring? I can't remember who else was around that. But look it up. Brunson and Halliburton, WWE. We could be getting the real thing. That would be amazing. I would be so into that series if we actually get that upset. And listen, I hope that the Nugs are able to I hope that the Nuggets are able to win that series against OKC. We will see. I mean, they put up, I think, that the Knick game was 91-90, and OKC put up 87 in the first half last night.
Yeah, all-time record.
It's two different sports being played, or 2 different eras of basketball.
It'll be a very memorable moment. Marshall, I let him stay up late to watch a blowout first half in that series just because we were about to witness NBA history. So we saw Holmgren put in the 87th points of free throw late in the half. Marshall looks at me and goes, "Daddy, I witnessed history tonight." I said, "You did witness history, son." So when somebody comes up 20 years from now and goes, "Hey, you remember who set the..." I'll be like, "Yeah, I remember. Marshall was 10. We were sitting there. Holmgren, free throw, 87 points. OKC Thunder."
Hey, speaking of witnessing history, did Marshall see what happened in Winnipeg on Sunday night?
No, he watched the first overtime and then I made him go to bed.
No, but what about the tying goal?
Oh, yeah. He watched the tying goal. Yeah. He watched the tying goal. See, you are right. People are more into the tying goal than the eventual game winner from Adam Lowry. That's a great point. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the tying goal. And there's Austin 3. Remember Austin 316 shirts?
Yeah. You were telling me that yesterday.
The 1.6. Hey, listen, I know we got to run, but I just looked this up.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in this Pope and the Pope betting market. Now, I am seeing, and again, this is probably I have no idea what books were even putting things up. I'm looking at one guy that posted a list with 30 options. And Robert Prevost, not one of them.
What?
That went up to 66 to 1. I think just it's different spots. Robert Prevost on this, again, no idea where this is from or if this is a good number or not, but he was like the 10th option on this one at 14 to 1. But John Ewing, who used to be the prediction machine guy, he said he was 50 to 1 to be the next pope. Whatever book this is, 19% of the bets were for Pietro Parolin, Italy. 58% of the money was on Luis Antonio Tagle, who did not win. It was just above even money that the Pope would be elected today. That cashed. And I'm looking at another one. This is some other account saying Robert Prevost, 40 to 1 odds just an hour ago is the new Pope and the first American Pope. So there is something hilarious about big hardcore Catholics that might have been able to have some good scouting on this Pope race and get in and maybe have a few extra shekels for the when they pass the hat or whatever at church next Sunday.
What's coming up on WST today, Huss?
Well, maybe we'll just have Pope talk for the next 2 hours. I'm not sure. No, we're going to break down yesterday's game. We'll also have Jeff Hamilton on the Zach Collaros situation. Gold Eyes are starting tonight, so we'll do a quick phoner with Logan Watkins as they get ready to start it off. And Steve Peters, who's done some really great breakdowns so far through the playoffs, he's going to come on. We'll talk about what the hell teams can do to harness and stop Mikko Rantanen. Easier said than done. So lots of hockey, a little bit of football and baseball. And then, in here, just on the way out, you know that WST, I mean, I will take credit for part of this being the catalyst for really having everyone know Kyle Connor as KFC.
KFC, yeah.
And then which led to a big
deal. Give me the bucket. What do we got here? Yes.
They're giving away 10,000 of these tomorrow at the game.
Really?
Yeah.
10,000?
The steam. Like there's going to be 10,000 people with these things on their heads.
I even think they're celebrating the Pope news.
Kyle Connor, anytime goal tomorrow night. Book it.
Lock it in. All right. We will let you and your fancy hat go, Huss. You have a good show today and we'll catch up tomorrow.
Right on, dude.
There you go. That is Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. That was great. 10,000 of those bad boys being dished out. All right, I want to build a parlay right now here with you guys. If you're watching or listening, I want to start with the under 6.5 in Carolina and Washington. It's minus 175. So we're going to start there. This will be our lock shop partner parlay today. So it's minus 175 right now at Play Alberta for Carolina and Washington under 6.5. I feel really good about that. Do we put something Oilers related in here? Let me bring up the player markets. What do we do? I kind of want a piece of Minnesota against a Steph Curryless Warriors team tonight. That spread's 10.5 though. Can Jimmy keep it within 10.5? Might be able to. If you have any suggestions on what to throw into this lock shop partner parlay right now, hit me up over in the chat. You can text us at 780-218-9999. The Pacers play tomorrow. So just the one game tonight in the association. And the Timberwolves are minus 833 favorites on the money line. And now the line's actually, it's still sitting at 10.5. You got Draisaitl point. Northside Sandwich is saying a McDavid power play point. I worry about power play points because, NHL officiating is garbage. So I worry a bit. Great numbers on power play points. Where are we looking at players market here? I'm really starting to get the hang of Play Alberta, and it operates well. Once you get the hang of it, I like it. Power play points, like plus 133 for Connor, plus 135 for. There's got to be a player prop. Hyman's been hot, but I don't think I want to go goal. We could look at a Hyman point. Hyman points minus 118. Let's do that. Let's throw a Hyman point in here. So we've got under 6.5 in the Carolina-Washington game. Zach Hyman point. And then let's get something from this basketball game tonight too. Player props. Now with Steph out, I mean, Golden State's still going to get, what do we say, 90 points probably? 80, 85, 90, somewhere 85. This guy's got to get points. Podziemski's at 12.5. He's a guy who likes to shoot the ball. With Steph out, there's going to be more threes there. Draymond, I hate Draymond Green. I hate him. But his total is 9.5. With Steph out, what's his game log? So his game log is he had 18 in game 1. He had 16 in that last game against Houston. 8, 7, and 6. I mean, Draymond over 9.5 points in a game where Steph doesn't exist. I don't mind that one. Buddy Hield. Actually, maybe Buddy Hield's the play. What do we got? Threes made. Buddy Hield. It's probably 3.5. It is 3.5. Where's Podziemski? Over 1.5 minus 192. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to do that. Podziemski, over 1.5 threes. He shoots a bunch of them, I think. Had his game log up here too. Podziemski, 5 threes, 7. I'm just thinking of shot attempts. This is with Steph. 7, 6, 4, 11, 6. He takes a lot of threes. Duck Dad saying, what about Green assists and rebounds over? Interesting suggestion. Let me bring that up here quickly too. We can see. The Podziemski minus 192 is super chalky, but it does get the parlay to plus 341 pre-boost. Assists and rebounds. Draymond's at 11.5. First, I like that. Let's go Draymond over 11.5 assists and rebounds instead of the Podziemski number. And that brings us to plus 452. That's a good play, Duck Dad. I like that. So Draymond, it makes me sick to say, Draymond Green over 11.5 assists and rebounds. Hyman point. And then the under in the Carolina-Washington game, but I moved it to 6.5. That'll be the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. I'm going to send it off to our team over at Play Alberta right away, and they usually turn these things around in like 2 minutes. So you'll be able to find that on the EST specials. I think the guy said the DGen Den grandest of parlays is ready to go too. I don't know if you texted that to me, but I will. I'll get that up the moment I see it as well. So, yeah, you send that to me if you haven't already. All right, that is going to do it for the Lock Shop. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight with our partners over at Play Alberta. If you've not yet downloaded the app, definitely do. And like I said, it took me about a week, but I'm really starting to get the hang of the Play Alberta website right now. Count around on the app as far as using it. I've just been on my laptop a ton. And I'm really starting to get the hang of it over at playalberta.ca. I think you'll like it once you get on there a little bit more. We've got 2 guys in goalie with myself, Cass, and Gager on the way. That is coming up next. That's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.